Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Coronation Street's Chris Gascoyne confirms Peter Barlow exit details. Coronation Street star Chris Gascoyne has shared the first details of his exit from the role of Peter Barlow. Peter took center stage in a huge storyline twist this week as he mowed down Stephen Reed on the cobbles, killing the Weatherfield villain almost instantly. Show bosses have now revealed that Peter will be arrested on suspicion of murder in Monday night's episode, October 16, which leaves him facing some tough questions from Gascoyne and her team. While viewers will have to stay tuned to find out whether Peter is heading to jail, this storyline marks the beginning of the end for his time on the street either way. Here, Chris Gascoyne, who plays Peter, shares some teasers of what's in store. It was Ian McLeod, the producer, who told me, and I was not expecting it, that's for sure. But I was pleased, and I was keen to see how the story would pan out. When I read it, I loved that it kind of came out of nowhere. Hopefully, it was not something that the audience was expecting. They knew that Peter was angry and was looking for Stephen, but although he had tried to beat him up at the flat, I don't think anyone saw that last moment coming until it happened. Peter was one of the few people who was not on the street at that point, and then he came out of nowhere. What has happened throughout the week is that Peter had got himself more and more wooed up, so he was not in control of what he was doing. He was not thinking rationally. He'd gone into some weird place that he can sometimes get into, and he can't stop that. I think that's what has happened there. He wound himself up to a point where he had tunnel vision and thinks he is being the hero. But was he being a hero? That is where the story goes from here. What was his real intention? I've really enjoyed playing this story out, and there is so much more to come. Because Peter felt he was doing it for Carla, he ignored her and wouldn't let it drop. It was too hard for him to sit back and do nothing once he knew what Stephen had done to Carla. I was surprised Peter managed to last as long as he did. He had put it on the back burner, but it was ignited again as more and more things started to come out. He was determined to find Stephen, and once he knew he was back on the street, he was determined to get to him. That said, I don't think he drove there with the intention of doing what he did. I was delighted that it was done that way. There are two ways you can do these sort of things. You can telegraph it and get the audience on board with what is coming, and some people like taking the audience on the journey. Or in certain situations, you can go all out for the shock value, and I think that worked brilliantly for Stephen's death. I am someone who likes to be shocked or surprised, so this appealed to me. He is shocked that he is being arrested and questioned for murder. As the week starts, he is certain that he saved Jenny's life, and he can't understand why he is being asked about his motivation for running him over. At this point, that is his frame of mind, and he is still feeling a certain amount of justification for what he did. Yes, when other people who saw what happened start to question it, he starts to doubt himself. He starts to lose control, and a whole internal monologue starts in his head. He starts to think, what have I done? Was Jenny in danger? Could I have done something different? Would it have been better if Stephen had been arrested? Yes, that is what is great about this for me. This is where Stephen's story ends and mine picks up. Peter is a man who is in deep conflict with himself. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how it happened, he has killed someone. It is impossible to imagine what that must feel like. Could you ever rest? Could you sleep? He actually says, I have taken another human being out of this world forever. What kind of person does that? What does that make me? And he is terrified. This is the other thing. He has killed someone that everyone knew, and whatever that person did, he has taken away someone's son, uncle, brother. I think Audrey needs somebody to blame. She does blame him because she believes he didn't have to kill him. But in Peter's world, he thought he did have to kill him because Stephen had killed everybody else, and he had a bottle to Jenny's neck. The truth is, underneath it, Peter took away Audrey's son. So he can't say, "Oh God, I didn't do it." He feels deeply for Audrey's pain, so in that way, it's interesting. What I'm really interested in is whether they will forget what Stephen did. Will they be pleased that Peter killed him to save Jenny, or will they be led by other people's feelings? Will they see Peter as a good person, or will they think that he should face justice for what he did? It is multifaceted in that way, and I hope that that's where they go. I don't want people to have a straight-down-the-line opinion. They will feel for Peter and feel for Audrey, and I hope they'll feel for Stephen to an extent. They are really worried about Peter, and then of course he is arrested, and it looks as though he is going to be charged. It will always be in the back of their mind that he could end up drinking again. And when Peter finds out that Stephen had let Jenny go before he drove into him, that really affects him. He is in hell and he is fighting through fear, but when he knows that Jenny is pretty adamant she would have been okay, that really starts to affect his mental state of mind. As we know, Peter has been through a lot, and there is no doubt that he will be tempted to drink, which really would be a decision to kill the pain and kill himself through alcohol. He knows that. This is a real danger zone for him. He has taken a man's life, and even if he goes to prison, he will have to live with that. He will always suffer. It will be interesting to see how he deals with his demons. He is a man in conflict with himself. It's a man who can't communicate with other people because of it. He is starting to believe he is a murderer, and it is deep in his stomach and in his soul. That's what I love about it. People will be able to watch how much he's suffering. He feels completely alone. Yes, without giving too much away, this will affect his future. Peter has been arrested on suspicion of murder, and he is struggling with his demons. He has always had lots of enemies, but at the end of the day, he is his own worst enemy. He is the one that has suffered at his own hands the most emotionally, and we can see this starting to happen again. He is facing prison. The drink is on his mind again. Audrey wants him to pay for what he has done. It is a turbulent time ahead. Yes, it just came together at the right time. I've learned a bit more about Peter than I knew before. The more that I know, the more that I see this side of him, the more I like him. He's got a lot of depth, and it has been great to explore that. Well, he has just killed someone, so there are so many storylines that can come out of that, and so many reasons that he might not be around anymore. All I will say is I am delighted with my exit storyline. The scripts are superb, and I can't wait to see the reaction to how Peter leaves the street.